Welcome. We're doing a deep dive today into some big headlines looking at how they're shaping, well, your business future. We all see the news, right? But we don't often stop to really unpack how it hits our own operations or maybe even how we could use that insight, turn it into a real competitive edge.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is how stories that seem, totally separate, when you look at them the right way, they actually show this powerful current running underneath the business world. We're looking at the end of that U.S.-China tariff truce, Oracle's big rebrand to Oracle AI world, and Google's latest AI stuff for search and creativity.
Exactly. And you might think, okay, tariffs, Oracle, Google AI,
Yeah.
what's the connection? But maybe they're not just connected. Maybe they're actually like converging, coming together to form this single blueprint for, well, success or maybe even failure going forward. That's what we want to piece together today.
Yeah.
So what's it all mean for you listening in, trying to navigate all this change? Let's unpack it.
Okay, let's kick off with the U.S.-China tariff truce that's officially expired now, which, yeah, could mean some pretty big shifts for businesses. But thinking beyond just, opportunity, what's maybe a counterintuitive way a smaller business could actually leverage this? Like, are there niche markets opening up or maybe supply chain tweaks that suddenly make sense now?
Oh, this is a huge one, absolutely. Anyone in global supply chains is feeling this or will be. I mean, right away, if you import goods, your costs could spike. That's pretty straightforward. And even if you don't directly import, you might feel it anyway. Those ripple effects through your own suppliers, right? They rely on those networks too.
Okay, so costs go up, uncertainty. Exactly. Markets hate uncertainty. So you might see competitors hesitate, pull back a bit. But, and this is key, for what you might call a system-driven business, this isn't just disruption, it's actually a massive competitive differentiator.
System-driven.
Yeah.
What exactly do you mean by that?
Right, so we're talking about businesses that have really solid systems in place, maybe a good CRM or an ERP system, or even just like really well-documented workflows stored in the cloud, maybe using tools like Notion or Monday.com. The point is they can instantly see the impact. They can reroute a supply line, adjust their pricing, maybe rebundle offers, and do it in weeks, not months.
Because they have that visibility.
Precisely. They've mapped out their operations, maybe automated parts of it. So when the market shifts, they're not scrambling or guessing. They're executing. It just really highlights how critical it is to document your processes and build some redundancy into your systems.
That idea of operational mastery, of having those systems,
Yeah.
it leads us perfectly to the next big shift, doesn't it? Oracle. I mean, a giant in enterprise tech. They just rebranded their huge annual event as Oracle AI World. What's the real signal there, do you think? Is it just like a marketing change-up, or does it go deeper? Does it reflect a fundamental shift in their actual products and maybe for the whole enterprise market?
Look, big companies like Oracle, they don't rebrand major events lightly. It's always a strategic declaration. So, yeah, Oracle's move, it's basically them saying loud and clear that AI isn't some, side experiment anymore. It's the absolute core, the main pillar of business operations from here on out. It confirms AI is fundamental now, not just for them, but for the whole global business scene.
Okay, so it's a core strategy shift.
Definitely. And what we usually see historically is that the tools and tech adopted by these big enterprises, they tend to trickle down. They get cheaper, easier to use, more accessible for smaller businesses over time, which means, you won't necessarily need a whole team of developers soon. Instead, the focus shifts. It becomes about having a clear plan for where AI can genuinely help your people take tasks off their plate. Think about AI agents, for instance.
The AI agents. Tell me more about those.
Right, so these are basically autonomous software bits designed to handle specific tasks or workflows all by themselves, kind of like a super efficient virtual assistant, but scalable. They could handle follow-up, scheduling, maybe even parts of client onboarding automatically.
That does sound incredibly useful for efficiency, for scaling up. But are there like hidden problems? What are the initial hurdles a small or medium-sized business might hit trying to adopt these AI tools, and how do they avoid them?
Yeah, that's a really crucial question. I think the biggest pitfall is just sort of throwing AI at a problem without really understanding the workflow you're trying to fix or improve. It's not magic, right? The key is integration, applying it strategically.
So don't just buy the tool.
Exactly. You might have issues with data quality, or maybe your existing systems are all fragmented. That can really hold back how effective the AI can be. The best way, start small. Find one repetitive task where an AI agent could genuinely free someone up. Implement it there, test it, then scale. You really need to map out the process before you bring in the technology.
That's really practical advice. Okay, so building on that AI momentum,
Yeah.
Google just announced smarter AI-powered search and these new creative tools as well. How much is that going to shake things up for, say, anyone in marketing or creating content? What's the immediate impact you see?
Oh, this absolutely reshapes the marketing playbook. No question. Search results, they're going to get way more personalized, which means your content, your offers, they need to be incredibly precise. You need to speak directly to what the customer actually intends or needs in that moment, their context, not just the keywords they type.
So generic stuff won't work anymore.
Not nearly as well, no. Marketers really need to move past broad themes. Think hyper-targeted content clusters that anticipate those little micro moments of need. And the other transformative part, these new creative AI tools. They let you produce so much more marketing material, images, videos, ad copy way faster and without spending weeks or a fortune. I was talking to a small business owner just recently, actually. She used one of these new tools, generated an entire campaign in just one afternoon, something that would have taken her team weeks before. The speed alone.
Yeah.
It was just mind-blowing. A huge competitive advantage right there.
Wow, okay, that speed is powerful. It's a real accelerator. But hang on, can you just, like, generate tons and tons of AI content and assume that'll automatically lead to sales? Or is there more to it? Is there a bigger strategy needed?
That's exactly the right question to ask. Look, these tools are powerful, yes, but only if they're properly integrated into a solid system. If your AI-generated content is just floating out there, not connected seamlessly to how you capture leads, nurture them, move them towards a sale, then it's just noise. It won't convert.
Right, needs to plug into the whole process.
Precisely. The businesses that are really going to win in this new landscape, they'll be the ones that smartly connect this new creative firepower with actual conversion through automation. Maybe you have AI-generated ad copy that leads directly into an AI-powered CRM sequence, which then nurtures the lead and automatically schedules a qualified sales call. It's all about the strategy and that seamless workflow, not just hitting generate.
So when we pull all this together, what we've really seen today is just how fast the business world is changing, isn't it? Whether we're talking global trade shifts like the tariffs or these massive tech advancements, the message from all these headlines seems crystal clear. The pace of change is just accelerating like crazy.
Absolutely. And if you connect this back to the bigger picture, it just underlines that adaptability, being flexible. But that adaptability has to be supported by really robust internal systems, well-integrated people who know how to use them, and smart strategic automation. It's not just an advantage anymore. It's fundamental. It's required for success. The tariffs, they test your ability to pivot fast. Oracle confirms automation is core now. And Google, giving us these powerful tools to market smarter if we use them right.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting then. And maybe a provocative thought for you to take away from this deep dive. The headlines, they're going to keep coming. Disruptions, big and small, they're inevitable, right? So you've got a choice. You can react like everyone else does, kind of scrambling to catch up after the fact. Or you can cultivate that readiness now, build the capacity to not just adapt, but to actually turn that next disruption, whatever it is, into your next big opportunity. So the question really is, how will you master the systems, the people, and the automation you need to thrive no matter what news hits tomorrow?